Welcome to Let's Curate's webcast series. Our third international jewelry exhibition, Culture Capture, is now live. This year, our objective is to present designers who use their unique backgrounds and customs to weave their own stories through their jewelry. Today, we are speaking to Sandrine Valentine, whose unique background and love of nature is the foundation of her sustainable handcrafted jewelry. Welcome, Sandrine. Great to have you with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
And it's completely our honor to have your wonderful creations online and also at our store in New York City. I know I read a little bit about your background, and I know that you were raised in Lyon and Corsica. What aspect of your upbringing influenced you the most? Because your designs have a very special, I would say, element which you typically don't see in a lot of other collections. And I'm curious to know whether it's your background that has been the influential factor behind that.
Yes, definitely. I think a lot of my jewelries bring back childhood memories. And in Lyon, for example, I did a lot of gardening with my father, in a community garden. We're surrounded by buildings. So I learned a lot about urban gardening and the love for nature. We had a cherry tree that I used to collect cherries from, and then from that I was playing with them as makeshift earrings by putting earring stems around my ears. And I made actually a series of earrings inspired from cherry stems and cherry pits. And then in Corsica, my family's originally from Corsica, so I did spend a lot of time there. And our village is in the mountains, so I was, in the rivers, mountains. The beach was not too far away because it's an island. And from that also was spending so much time in nature. And again, I played a lot with nature, like makeshift twig rings. And I made a collection of twig rings that was inspired from that. I had this sense of collecting things from a young age, and I felt like I wanted to make things that we could be wearable. So I think all of this combined, my love for nature and things that I wanted to make to be wearable, is a reflection of my collections of jewelry pieces.
It's interesting because, I've seen you, when you are working at your studio, it always begins with, I can see your deep, I would say almost like a personal relationship with nature, because I always feel like that seems to be the starting point. I've seen you at work, and I've seen how you actually, your first step is to just step into a garden and explore. And it's so interesting that, every person and every artist has their own process to kickstart anything, whether it's conceptualization or getting to the execution part. Tell us about how you approach the whole process, right from the beginning to the end when you are designing a collection.
I guess for me, it's a lot about memory, which is connected with location and place. And, you can even see descriptions sometimes in my listings about where the piece was found. So I collect things from my walks, from nature. So that's the starting point usually of a collection. Like I said, I play a lot with nature. So whatever surrounds me, wherever I am, I'm always on the look for things on the ground. For example, the daylily flower collections are actually castings from blooms on my deck in Brooklyn. So that's pretty much the starting point. And then I think of things in collection, I develop different pieces. And again, from my collection of daylily flowers, those are castings of different blooms. So each flower is different. I make unique pieces or small, small collections of items. I don't really make that many pieces, even though I sometimes have a mold. Just because I also want to respect that aspect of going to sustainability and small collections, like capsule collections of things. And that's something actually I'm drawn more and more to. But essentially, I find inspiration in nature. Sometimes I also collect things like antiques. I like things that have a story and a memory behind them, and I take photos of where I found things so that I remember also. And so that goes back to the time and place, really. That's kind of what my collections are about.
You mentioned a couple of very important things, I think, which are crucial to the future of design. Sustainability and ethical sourcing. And I know those are essential, and it's absolutely the foundation of your aesthetic. What business practices do you typically believe in and follow that connects with your design philosophy?
So ethical sourcing, or the terms are responsible sourcing, is very important to me. I work with also Fairmine Gold, which is small-scaled artisans that are trained not to use mercury in their processes. And it's also about making connections in the jewelry industry. Like, I've known people for many years. I've asked questions about their sourcing. I just want to be comfortable about the product that I sell. And everything is like handcrafted in New York City. That's also very important to me because I've been working with artisans for many years now, and I want to continue doing that. So it's kind of assurances that, the pieces you buy from me not only have a story, but they're also backed by, ethical practices. I also focus a lot about my packaging. I use a seeded paper for my business card because it's compostable. And, the boxes also are made from recycled paper. So I try to, every aspect of my business, I've been working on really backing with ethical practices as much as possible. And so I think also the other aspect of it is that each design I create can be passed on to generations because it's made of precious metal or semi-precious metals that will last. And that makes sustainability not just a philosophy, but a way of life.
You've designed this absolutely exquisite collection for our exhibition, which I'm just so honored to present. It's a delight. It's a collection of silver delight, and it's each piece there is, for lack of a better word, it's perfection in the imperfections, which you've captured so beautifully through, encapsulating your love for nature, which is seen in each and every piece in the collection. Can you tell us a little bit about each of those pieces?
Yes, so for the culture capture, there's two different collections basically. One of them is a daily leaf flower collection, which again is like this blooms that were on my deck in Brooklyn. And I really love that plant and the flowers because, from the time we moved into the apartment, that plant was out on the deck and kind of survived all the odds, right? So, and was there for 8 years. And so I was just always captivated by it. And I was wondering, how can I make this into jewelry just so I can just memorize it and wear it? So I worked out different techniques. I finally found something that worked. And so I've made a pendant that is unique for the collection and a brooch as well. And so those are very special pieces to me, because of their meaning and the story behind it. And then the other set of collections is actually from the Unearthed collection, which is also, those are two new collections. And so with the beauty of the sea, right? When you think of the sea, you think of going to the beach and collecting things, which also have seashell, part of also what is at the culture capture. And also, often the ocean is also sometimes can be wild and not so calm and steady. And so it can create wreckage. And so the Unearthed collection is actually about that. It's about things that you can find at the bottom of the ocean that are broken up, like the seashell collection that is broken up actually. Those broken seashells that you can find at the bottom of the ocean. And so that's the inspiration behind it. With the moonstone, because that's also very reflective, like the color, like this kind of grayish, bluish color that sometimes you can see in the ocean. And so this is the meaning behind those two collections. And so that's why I was so delighted that they could be showcased at the Culture Capture.
It was a perfect match for the kind of aesthetic I wanted to curate, and I'm so thankful to you that you are part of the exhibition, because it completely ties in with what we were trying to explore through the theme. Like I said, I feel you have such a unique perspective. I feel in a sea of collections, it's very clear. If I would see your piece, I would know it's made by Sandrine, because you're so clear about the inspiration and how you take it through from the time that you think of the idea till the final piece that comes out, and also with the packaging that you use, which is, it all kind of goes back to earth and goes back to nature as it should. What is your goal for the future? What can we expect from your future designs?
So for me, it's a lot about storytelling. So I want to continue to emphasize like the stories and connect people to nature and have conversation about sustainability and enduring of the wearable art. So my goal is really also to explore like meaningful exhibitions and collaborations, to emphasize that. And I have a lot of ideas. I always do. I have a lot of ideas about different collections I want to do. But the main aspect of it is really, even the collections I have presently, is to really continue to tell the stories and try to like do that by maybe doing some more videos and showing more of my processes and behind the scenes, so that people have a sense also and can connect to my pieces and know the stories, and understand also what it takes to make a piece of jewelry, and the sustainability aspect of it that has been very dear to me from the beginning, because not only because I love nature, but also because in the process of doing that, I'm helping people behind me, like the small scale artisans, the people that work at the jewelry district that are very dear to me, that I've known for many years. And so I want to just emphasize more about the stories, the pieces, and the people also behind the jewelry.
Sandrine, it's so clear that your heart and your mind are absolutely at the right place, and there is no doubt that your future designs are just going to get wings and fly and be as successful as your current collections. We wish you all the very best. And once again, I'm so thankful that you are part of this beautiful exhibition, and your collection is adding to the beauty of this entire theme that we focused on this year. I want to let our viewers know that Culture Capture will go on until December 21st. And we hope you all enjoy and purchase these one-of-a-kind masterpieces. For more updates, follow us on Instagram at @lets_curate. And happy curating, everyone.